Good morning, Wadsworth. Hey, my hair is getting kind of tall, isn't it? Yeah, that's okay. How are you doing this morning?
Most people shrink over time and you're getting taller. That's a good thing.
You know what they always say, the bigger the hair, the closer to God. So, okay, here we go. Hey, I'm Janie Parrish from the Wadsworth Area Chamber of Commerce, along with my stunningly gorgeous and debonair co-host, Michael Reynolds, from the Post newspaper and Pine Valley Golf Club. Yeah.
Good morning, Janie.
Is it closed now?
We are closed for the season to do winter work and get ready for the next season. So, yes.
Okay, there we go.
Now the clubhouse will be occasionally open, and we do still open for parties. So.
Okay, so if I want to have a party, I'm calling you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you just want to stop over and have a margarita, I'm always game for that.
Like we haven't done that before. Okay, well, we are here with another gorgeous person, Cheri Smith, and Cheri is just a sweetheart who opened, was it about a year ago?
It was.
Yeah.
It's been a year and 2 months. What's today's date?
15th
of November.
Payday. I know this.
1 year, 2 months, and 1 day.
Wow. So it's Brush Tip Studio.
Yes, Brush Tip Studio.
And we are excited to have you in Wadsworth. There's a lot of buzz going on about you, Cheri.
I'm excited to be in Wadsworth. It is, I love it, like the small town. I love it.
A lot of changes going on, and we're so glad you're here.
I love all the changes because I'm like right in the middle of it, and I'm watching it grow.
That's
and I feel like it's, you know,
every month it's something new.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, well, tell us how it all came to funnel down to opening up your own shop.
Okay, so I always loved art growing up, and what got me started into like doing painting and stuff is my mom used to make these candy molds. Like at Easter, she used to make these little chocolate ducks.
Okay.
And it held this daisy, and I thought, why can't that be a pretty colored daisy? So I actually started, instead of just chocolate or white chocolate. So I said, can you get me something to color this stuff? So she actually got some like powdered food coloring, and I started painting on those. And then she used to get these glass ceramic houses and make Christmas villages every year. Mm-hmm. And so she would have me paint those, which was not my favorite at all.
Yeah.
So just like growing up, I would love crafts. My aunts always did crafts, and so I would always try to like copy off their crafts and stuff. And then just growing up through high school, I took all art classes, I took welding, I took architect, I took anything that was very hands-on. Then I ended up having kids and being a mom, and I just did like crafty things for school. I kind of suppressed all my art stuff and hid it so that I could raise kids and do what I felt like that's where all my energy should have gone. So I started working in another local business, painting, and my husband ended up getting another job. So I ended up quitting that job and just kind of hanging out again with the kids. And I was always a stay-at-home mom, but I always knew that there was something bigger and better out there for me. Not better, because being a stay-at-home mom is great, but I knew like I just needed to go out and fly and soar and just take off. So, and bring so much to everybody else. So I started doing that, then I quit, and I stayed home again. One of my friends from high school messaged me and said, hey, we're out here at this campground. Will you come out and paint? And I'm like, I don't think I can. Like, I don't know. She's like, yes, you can. I'll be here. It's my group of friends, you know. I said, okay. So my friend Kelly was super supportive. She's like, do this. And she owns like a cute little catering business. So she was like, you can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. So she was a huge encouragement for me. And I went and did her little paint party at a campground, and it kind of took off from there. So for about 1.5 years, I did it with no overhead. I just did birthday parties here or there, or like mom's nights, or bachelorette parties at people's houses. I did a lot of church events.
Don't ever invite Michael to a bachelorette party.
No, we have them all the time at the studio. You could
never ends
come.
well.
Well, it always ends well with me, so I feel like it
Okay.
won't go bad.
Next thing you know, front page of the Post.
That's right.
That's okay. I don't mind being front page of the Post.
Okay, good.
I'll be standing there like this with my shirt open, like, hey, brush tips. Who cares what he's doing? So then we really were kind of focusing on trying to find a space. And honestly, I was just praying a whole lot about a space. And I checked out a bunch of different spots. And that space that we're in now, 232 High Street, came available. And we called the guy. It was on a Friday. I called him. Saturday, I left my niece's birthday party, ran over and met him there. My husband came over and met me. On Sunday, my husband was like, let's do it. And then I was like, no. No. I'm not investing I'm not dumping all of our money into this. I'm not taking our family down over this. I can't do it. He's like, yes, you can. So we have a whole lot of faith. So I was actually at a Bible study. And in that Bible study, one of the people said, God gives you a talent. So you have this talent, and you're going to take this talent, and you're going to go spread it around the world. And when you go to heaven, God's going to say to you, what did you do with the talent that I gave you?
Uh-oh.
And I was like, dang it. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So I said, let's do this. And my husband was like, yeah, no, I already told you we're doing it. So my whole goal and our whole mission just behind Brush Tips is to be the light, to be somebody's way out of their darkness. If they can come to our studio and they can paint for 2 hours, if they can come and paint for 1 hour, if they can come and just spend a little bit of time in the studio where they feel like they can forget about all their stress and anxieties and anything and just have a good time with zero expectations, and they leave feeling good about themselves, then we've done our job.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I got to say, it's a good thing that she wasn't friends with you and I when she was young like that, because we'd have solved that problem by just biting the daisy off the bunny, and then there wouldn't be anything to paint.
No! I believe I still have that candy mold. You know what I should do? Paint like a cute little Easter picture of that candy mold and hang it up in the shop. Just like,
from
here
humble
you go.
beginnings, right?
Right.
Oh my gosh. So what I want to ask you is, say, for example, I'm just feeling down in the dumps and would like to just try this and see, you know, I love a stress reducer.
Right.
Yeah, I love it. And so what do I do? Do I call you?
Yeah.
And are you there certain hours? How does this work?
So it is more of like an appointment kind of thing. I do have
Okay.
classes on the schedule every single night. So, and then Saturday I usually have 4 classes on, and Sunday I usually have 1 or 2 classes on, kind of depending on, you know, what my day is on Sunday. But we do have classes every night. And then a lot of people call me for private lessons too. But if you're feeling down in the dumps, just call me, because we'll talk for about 5 minutes and you'll feel great.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about painting.
Nice. Boy,
Yeah.
Yeah. Because sometimes you do. You just, and
Yeah.
sometimes you can't even identify
Sure.
what is
Right.
going on. And so that would be
Yeah.
very cool.
But I mean, we do lots of fun things. You know, we have lots of parties. We have lots of just open classes, couples classes, bachelor and bachelorette parties.
Okay. Watch him. Okay.
Yeah. But now we have an open invite all the time. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll just have to check the schedule, I guess.
Right. So there is a lot, and we do team building and stuff like that too. So there's just a lot of like bringing people together, and
Nice.
just having that community, and it's just happens to be wrapped around art. So
For those of us that aren't confident that we have any artistic ability, what are some tips you would give, or what would you say to
Well-
someone like that would say, like myself, It'd probably induce stress if I went there.
No.
Listen, I can paint a room like nobody's business. Yeah.
I can paint walls. Don't get me
That's
wrong.
right.
Right. So I could never go and do what you do. Well, I probably could actually, because the newspaper and stuff. That's like right.
Like,
up
I'm really
my
gonna need my
alley.
ego pumped by you next week.
Marketing, all kinds of stuff like that. All that stuff that you do is like right up my alley. But I am super, super amazing at my job, and I don't mean to like boast or gloat or you know, whatever. I just know how to communicate well. I know how to take art, switch it around in my brain for just the normal person to understand it, and then be able to copy it. So we go step by step.
Okay.
And they follow along. I have a blank canvas, you have a blank canvas, and together we create a beautiful finished product. So even if you don't have any artistic background,
I don't. Yeah.
you can always come in and everything will be perfect. You're going to leave with an amazing painting. You're going to leave feeling good. Maybe if you bring a little wine, you might leave feeling a little tipsy, but.
Yeah. Now, I remember when we did your ribbon cutting for your year.
Yeah.
That was for your year anniversary.
Yeah, my 1 year anniversary.
Yes. And I remember you said no one leaves with an ugly painting.
Right.
And I like that.
So do you have a
they
dumpster to
don't.
burn mine after?
No.
Right in the back.
Never. No, we just, honestly, I believe it's because I take my time. And
Okay.
I explain it so good that people come in all the time. They're like, I can't even draw a stick figure. And I'm like, well, that's good because I don't need stick figures.
Yeah, we're not drawing those today.
Right. So, I mean, believe me, there's tons of people that come in and they say, I can't. And I say, yes, you can. Let's just try it. There is no ugly art if you're creating something. So it doesn't matter what it is. If you're creating something, it's not ugly. It's not bad because you're putting your heart and your passion and every other feeling inside of that artwork, regardless of if it's arranging flowers or, you know, doing hair or just being part of the chamber, like leading it, and even the post. Like you put all your passion into that. So
That's true.
you're creating beautiful things.
I like her.
Absolutely.
I do. Okay.
I mean, I'm a good time.
Okay.
Hey, this is a family show.
I like her
Everyone wants to
even
come to
more.
the bachelorette parties
Yeah.
and bachelor parties.
Well, I love your energy.
Absolutely.
Thank
I
you.
absolutely
Yes.
love the way you think, and yeah, and what a great thing to share your talent. And isn't that funny that somebody could say a few words and it changes your life in a whole different direction you
It
never
does.
thought.
It does.
It
And
shows
I,
you really use your passion that you might
Yeah.
not have.
yeah. And I love doing that kind of stuff. Just, you know, if I can make one person happy, or if I can just bring joy to one person's life. And a lot of people don't ever paint on canvas. Like, have you ever painted on canvas?
I have not.
Never. I have 100-year-old customers who have never painted on canvas before, and I think, oh my gosh, if I just bring them that joy where they get to just sit down and write on or paint on canvas, it's worth it.
Okay, so I have some questions.
Okay.
If I, say for example, I wanted to gather some girlfriends and do a painting party, could I do it at your studio or at my home? Which do you prefer?
Obviously, I prefer in studio.
Okay.
Because it's less carrying everything. Because
Yeah.
I bring everything. Easels, if you need paper towels. I bring paper towels too. But if you need tablecloths, I bring tablecloths. I bring easels. I bring all the canvases, brushes, cups, everything. So I bring the party to you. Obviously, if it's in my studio, it's all right there and I don't have to travel with
Yeah.
it. So it does make it a little bit easier to have it in studio, but I don't mind traveling. I do a lot of team
Yeah.
building traveling where I go to people's work.
Oh, okay. Because really, if you have it at the studio, you don't have to clean your house, and I like that.
Right.
I like that a lot.
Right. You
Same
do
as-
not have
Same
to.
for Janie, is if she buys dinner, she doesn't have to clean the kitchen.
That's
Or
right.
use it.
Hey.
That's right. I like
I
it.
eat out a lot, so no judgment here.
Oh, now does everybody paint the same picture
We
then?
do. We do.
Okay.
Everybody paints the same picture. They usually the host will pick it. So if you're hosting, you would pick what we like. I'd ask you to go to our Facebook page. We have a nice big photo gallery there. So you could go there and you can look at what you want to pick. You pick it, and then all of your guests paint that same thing. I encourage them to be creative. If somebody wants to go rogue, definitely do that. If they want different colors because it matches their bedspread or it matches their couch or whatever, I encourage them to pick colors and then go from there. But for the majority of it, people are like, nope, we're going to stay right on task.
Now, can someone bring, let's say they don't want something that you have on your site, can they say, I want to paint this?
So they do. There are some people that'll say, you know, hey, I love this, this, and this, and they'll send me different paintings. And I can't copy off of somebody else's artwork, but I can pull a background from this one and maybe, you know, a house from this one or a flower from here. And I can kind of combine a bunch of different things, or sometimes they just tell me. And then I can throw stuff together for them, and I understand what they're saying, so the vision is there and it adds to the painting, and then they love it. So
I was thinking maybe someone would want like a picture, a streetscape of sort of a picture of their house or something.
Yeah.
They give you a picture. Can we paint this? That
People
type of
do
thing.
that. People do that all the time. We do like a pet portrait, or a house portrait, or even a personal portrait. So little kiddos love that personal portrait because they come in and they paint it. But yeah, people do that all the time. They send me pictures, and then I sketch it out for them. Then they come in and they paint it.
Okay, so what if, could I bring a picture of my house and say, Cheri, could you please paint this for me?
Yes.
Would you do that?
Yes, I do independent work all the time. Some
Okay.
people, they don't have time to come in, or they're really nervous about a big project like that. So they will then ask me, hey, can you do this for me? So
Very nice. Now, I remember Drew and Aunt Terry. We
Yeah.
loved them. And I think Annette maybe too, did it was a big
welcome sign
welcome board.
with like interchangeable. That's actually on this Saturday.
Now, do you provide that big
I
board?
do. All you
Okay.
have to do is show up.
Nice.
I even provide the smile on your face.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I love her.
Yeah, my wife actually came there and did
Yes,
something
she did
similar
that
to that.
same thing.
Was it the same one?
It was the same class.
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
I know Drew is so excited about his. Yeah.
I know. It's so pretty. It's neat because you get that interchangeable. So right now everyone should have their turkey up.
Okay.
And then they're going to swap it out for their Christmas tree.
Okay.
Very
And then
nice.
they can swap that Christmas tree out for a snowflake until like March. And then we'll throw. When is Easter this year? Is it early?
No.
Okay, so then like March they could throw on their Easter egg.
Now, what if for like a Christmas present for my daughter, I would say, geez, could you paint like, because you know I love those birds that you have
Yeah.
with those tall legs. And could I like say, could you please paint their family, and I could give you a characteristic of each one, like my son-in-law Tony always wears a hat,
Yeah.
you know, things like that.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. I love making paintings personal because people
Okay.
then look at it and then they can enjoy it all the time and they know who's who, and then it's neat to see like what your like the hat thing, or if somebody wears glasses all the time, or maybe a little girl wears a bow all the time. So
Yeah.
it's neat to just add those little things and add those personal touches. People love seeing that.
Oh my!
But I
think
do
that's
those.
a very cool idea.
Yeah.
But I love those birds. Yeah, they're just kind
That
of.
was actually a customer. She's a Highland High School student, and she actually painted those and was in our art show, because we do a public art show where any artist from anywhere can bring in their artwork and they leave it, and we do like an open house. So like when we did the 1 year anniversary,
Yeah.
so we did
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, you could, some were taller and some were
Yeah.
squattier, and so a family that would be a
That would be
great,
interesting and very
Yeah.
unique as
yeah,
a gift.
a great Christmas.
Yeah. And then we have, fun Christmas gift cards too for anyone who wants to then like bring people in to paint something like that on their own. So you could come in and you could paint that for them, and I could guide you.
Oh my!
And then it'll be even more of a personal
And then when I don't
touch.
like what I painted, you could paint it for me
I'll
to actually
fix
give
it.
to them, right?
I'll fix it. I'll fix it, but I feel like you could paint.
Wow.
If I ever slow down enough to take the time, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Maybe.
But
We'll
I have
get
confidence
you
you
in
could
there.
teach me after this.
Michael would be in his car driving.
Right? Yeah, you'd
laugh.
to set aside 2 hours for me.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like that idea. Okay, so how do people get in touch with you?
So they can message us on Facebook under Brush Tip Studio,
Okay.
Instagram Brush Tip Studio Wadsworth, and they can also call us. They can email us. Personally, if they got an airplane and rode it across the sky, that would be ideal.
Okay.
Hey,
yeah.
we want a paint party like right above Wadsworth. That would be amazing.
That would
and I
be
would definitely
amazing.
get a hold of them.
Okay, good.
So yeah, I mean, there's all different ways. Flag me down. I drive a really nice orange vehicle that could like stand out on the road. And no,
Say
I'm just
brush tips
kidding.
on the side? Or
It does not. It does not, because I think it already stands out enough, and then I'm kind of nervous, like, about driving around with it. I don't know that, and I just really haven't gotten the magnets yet.
Something on the bucket list.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
How'd you come up with the name?
So that's
'Cause
funny because
I know there's a story
there
behind
is.
this.
It used to be the painted brush when I first started out, and I'm like, it just doesn't flow right. So my husband wanted something that was more like the tipsy brush, and I'm like, no, because he's like, well, we're wine and canvas, people can bring in whatever, and I'm like, no, I don't want to be associated with. I don't want people to think that that's all I do.
Yeah. Or that you have to have alcohol.
Or
involved.
yeah, and you don't at all. I mean, I have lots of people. It's very rare that people actually bring in alcohol.
Okay.
So yeah, so I was pondering, and finally I was like, what about brush tips? Like, we're giving you tips on how to use a paintbrush. So we went back and forth about it, and he's like, okay, all right, let's do it. So this logo, I actually traded this logo for a birthday party for a friend. And this was like before I even had the studio going. So all of this stuff was all made up like way before I even opened. And I was like, it's got to be a big paint splat with a brush throwing it on there. So they took my vision and turned it into our logo. And I'm like, that's it. That's it. And I love driving down the road with my logo up, and I'm like, yay.
Yeah, everything just fell into place.
It did. It
Yeah.
really did. It was weird. It was like, here, let's just open all these doors for you, you know, so.
Now, some artists will put like a little signature in anything that they paint. Do you do that? Like a little picture of themselves or a little bit of their initials hidden within the painting?
Right.
Do you do
So
that?
I don't, but my daughter does.
Okay.
I
Nice.
just kind of throw my signature on the bottom, and that's if I even remember to sign it. Honestly, I don't ever remember to sign it. When I look at my artwork, I look at it totally different than when you look at my artwork. So I look at it like, oh, it's just another painting. And you're looking at it like, oh my gosh, you know.
Yeah.
But my daughter, she's an amazing artist.
I've
and
seen some of her stuff.
yeah, and
Very
she like hides her initials in it. And I'm like, oh, man, but hers are easy. It's like ES, so she like can scribble it into something, and I love it. She does that though.
And I did want to ask you, like, for a child's birthday party, do you do those?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we do those all the time. We had one last night. We have one Saturday, so we do those all the time, and they're fun. And the kiddos get. So I paint a special painting for them, and then everyone can sign the back of it. And then they get to take that home.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's usually personalized with their name across it, so, they love it.
How many kids are generally at a party like that, or what's the
So,
range?
42.
right? I'll take 42. My biggest class I ever did was 85.
Wow.
Wow.
So, with one assistant, yeah. So that was fun. But, yeah, it could be from any age. I prefer 6 and older,
Okay.
just because at that level they can understand simple shapes and direction. Where younger than that, they kind of get distracted real easily. And to try to keep like a 5-year-old, 4-year-old, 3-year-old, 2-year-old, not to make mud first out of their paint.
Sure.
It's tempting,
swirl it
even
all
as
together.
adults, right? See, even as
Yeah.
adults, you just want to swirl it all together. So to keep them distracted and on task, away from that paint. I say distracted, away from the paint palette, because that's what they want to do. So I do ask for 6 and older.
That's probably a good rule for you and I if we're there to keep our attention as well.
Well,
Yes,
then,
no making mud.
yeah, we couldn't be right next to each other
No.
either.
Unless there's a blender there. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, we have outlets.
Yeah, what a good.
Just can't have extension cords.
So where are you going next? What's next on your agenda?
Bigger and better.
Okay.
Bigger. I want to expand. You know, I have the TV show, so I am in like 6 different networks, and I just keep emailing people like, "Hey, here's my show. Let's put it on." So there's definitely big growth that's going to be happening there.
excellent.
There's big growth that's going to be happening with the company, multiple locations, and maybe even bigger studio. I feel like that's going to
Wow.
happen.
Yeah.
Like that's on my
Maybe
radar.
a bobblehead doll.
Fingers crossed. I'll make a bobblehead doll. Heck yeah. We could do one that paints, like
There you
that's,
go.
that's plain, and then we can paint the bobblehead, and it'll just be like this in the car.
Oh my gosh. Well, Cheri Smith, we are almost out of time.
All right.
Yes, from Brush Tip Studio. Thank you for coming to
Oh, thank
Wadsworth.
you.
Thank you for sharing your talent, and we do know what you're going to say when God asks you.
I do. I
Yeah.
do know what I'm going to say now.
Yeah. So Michael likes to sign us out. I personally like to, but he knocks me around if I don't let him sign
No
us out.
margaritas for
No.
you, right?
That's
I'll tell you.
You cut her off.
Yeah.
You know it. But thank you for your passion. It's evident when you talk to you that you have a
Yes.
passion for it, and I'm sure you could teach us all how to paint at least adequately.
Yeah.
I'm
So
inspired.
I am too.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go paint. So for my beautiful co-host and our beautiful guest as well, have a great week, Wadsworth.